Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's look is inspired by a couple of things. I've been meaning to do this video for quite some time and I'm pretty excited how everything turned out. But this video is inspired by the Wet n Wild Not a Basic Peach. And more importantly, this video is inspired by one of my closest friends, who has been one of my dearest supporters, and you know who you are. I don't want to mention any names, but I really truly appreciate your support, so this one's for you. You want to see how I did this look? Keep watching. I'm going for a high drama look today, but I also know that I am going to be outside at a cookout and sweating and gross, so I am using my Too Faced Hangover Replenishing Face Primer. It's one of my favorites, especially when I'm going to be outdoors and sweating a bunch, because it's really, really sticky and tacky and it really holds your makeup on really well. I'm also going to be using the Neutrogena Healthy Skin Liquid Makeup. I really like the finish of this. This is a newer foundation that I've been trying out, but it also has SPF 20 in it, so it's really great if you're going to be outside for extended periods of time. And again, I am. It is really runny though, so you do have to be careful in putting it on that you don't get too much. And you can see that this foundation is just a bit light for me, especially in light of my new tan. I am going to have to get some darker foundations, but this is what I have for the moment, so this is what we're using. I'll just darken it up with some bronze. I'm using my Photo Focus Concealer by Wet n Wild. I really like the finish of this concealer. I also like the price point of this concealer. I don't have to feel stingy whenever I'm using quite a bit of this stuff, and as you can see, I have some major dark circles to cover up right here, so let's use that and make those go away. And I'm going to be using a combination of my Benefit bronzers and blushes today. So for my contour, I'm using the Hoola Matte Bronzer. And then for the bronzer, I am using the Hoola Light Matte Bronzer. I find for my skin tone, these two work very nicely together. Let's try to darken that up just a little bit, make it look like I'm not quite so pale, and like my foundation isn't quite so light. And I wanted some bright blush today, so I am using the California Powder Blush by Benefit. This one is quite vibrant, so it's definitely one that you should use with a lighter hand. Clearly I didn't follow my own advice here, but I like it anyway. Blush! For brows, I have my Huge, the Anastasia Brow Dip Pomade Medium Brown. Want some big bad brows to go with my big bad bright cheeks. So I've figured out that the outside tails of my brows have this weird curl that follows my, I guess, my orbital bone, and so I've found that you really have to turn your head to the side, at least I do, to make sure that those end up straight. not just when you're looking straight on, but when you are, looking at the brow to the side as well. So be careful with that. We're just going to darken these up a little bit because clearly that wasn't, dark enough to begin with. I said I wanted some big bad brows, and I wasn't kidding. And I want them puppies to stay in place, so this is my NYX Control Freak Brow Gel. It's just a clear brow gel. It's honestly, it's basically like hair gel, but with a mascara wand on it. But you know what? It works well, so I don't care. And I know I'm parting from my usual, but this is the Smashbox Photo Finish 24-hour foundation or shadow primer. And I'm using this one today, one, because it has no sheen, so I don't want it to interfere with the matte shades that are in the eyeshadow I'm planning to use. But also, this stuff really makes your eyeshadow stick. And again, I'm going to be outside, I'm going to be sweaty, it's going to be gross. I need some staying power. Now, the crowning glory. This is the Not a Basic Peach palette. I'm really excited by all of the shades in this palette. It's got some nice mattes, some nice shimmers, that nice pop of blue. It's just a really interesting combination, and it's a very unique palette. I'm really proud of Wet n Wild for this one. So I'm just grabbing this dark burnt orange on a fluffy blending brush. This is my e.l.f. fluffy blending brush, and I'm just running that into the crease. And I'm going to use this, they consider it a transition shade, this darker reddish burnt orange color, and I'm using that on a rounded crease brush to just put that in the outer third. I'm going to clean off my fluffy blending brush because apparently I could have 12 of those and it would be, no difference to me. And I'm taking that light transition shade and just using that to shade out, blend out the orange into the upper crease. With my small shade, I'm going to just go right under the brow bone with the lightest color in the palette. Just a nice highlight. And now for the lovely blue. I'm actually going to do this with my finger because it gives you better color payoff. I'm just putting that on the inner third of my lid. I'm going to make sure that that's nice and bright. And then with a different finger, I'm using the plum shade in the palette, and I'm putting that right across the center of my lid. And I just want to make sure that those blend together. So I'm using my same fluffy blending brush and just blurring the lines between those colors. I want to make sure to not over blend it though, so that the colors stay true. And I'm going to take my pointed crease brush and just define that crease a little bit better using the dark brown shade in the palette. And that is my fluffy blending brush again. A lot of times I do like to put that crease shade in there with the pointed blending brush, but still use a fluffier brush to blend that out. It's a flat angled brush with this red gold shimmer shade, and I'm just going to run that right under my outer third to outer half of my lower lash line. I want to make sure that those dark colors stay towards the outside so that it brightens my eyes and makes them elongated rather than boxing them in. And on a fluffier angled brush, I think this one is the Curange whatever Amazon brushes that I have, I'm going to use that same burnt orange shade that I put in my crease, and I'm just going to use that to smoke that out just a little bit underneath and just blend that out a little bit. Notice I'm turning the brush around so that I can drag that color a little bit closer to the inner corner. And this is a pencil brush, and I'm going to take the gold shade and then I'm going to put that on my inner corner just to brighten that up. And I cut a lot of this out, but I really packed that on there. Now for eyeliner, I'm using my NYX Epic Ink Liner. And this is going to be a process because I want a very dramatic wing. So I'm going to start by just lining right up next to my lash line. And I'm going to line my lower lash line with the Rimmel Exaggerate Eye Definer. It's basically a crayon eyeliner. Then with that lower lash line and all that line made, I can make sure that those connect up properly, and I can go in and draw the big dramatic crazy wing. Because this is exactly the makeup that everybody wears to a cookout, you know. To top that off, I've got my Bad Gal Bang mascara. You may, in fact, be witnessing the last day of this stuff. I am going to have to buy another tube of this, but I am in love with it. But I also have a whole boatload of mascaras in my drawer that I'm going to try to use up. So it'll be a little while probably before I pick up another one of those. I'll give in eventually. I had the worst time picking out a color for this, but I landed on the Mauve Wife Smashbox Liquid Lip. The legendary liquid lip. These are a little greasier than I usually prefer. They stay sticky, they don't really sit down, but I do really like this color. And of course, finishing it all off with the Sport Fix Extra Hold by Makeup Revolution. I told you it's going to be outside, I'm going to be sweaty, and I'm hoping that any of this actually stays on. So this is the completed look using the Wet n Wild Not a Basic Peach palette. You can pick this one up for about $5. I find that it's a really great palette. It's got some amazing colors in it. It's got a very good color payoff. I really do like it. Again, thank you all for your support. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. Please remember to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you